Going to be checking in with Capri Global, and Rajesh Sharma, the managing director, is now live with us. We want to do a status check on how things are progressing, particularly with the backbone of the economy, the SMEs and the MSMEs. Good morning, Mr. Sharma. Nayantara here. Capri Global had guided for what? About a 22 to 27% growth, which is achievable, mainly driven by MSME sectors. Looking at the current dynamics, the situation on ground, MSME still recovering from the pain of last 2 years. Any update on this guidance front and what it's looking like?
Yeah, good morning. So if we talk about MSME specifically, where our 50% portfolio is more than an MSME, I think with the rural economy coming back, vaccination is already over, pandemic is behind us, and economic activity has picked up significantly. We have seen a robust growth in the disbursement in MSME. Our MSME book for the 9 months have grown almost 30%. And if we talk about leading rating agencies, they are also confirming the data that yes, there is a demand pickup in the rural segment and the smaller ticket size loan which are required for the businesses purposes. And that is very positive trend. Coupled with that, we have also observed that there is a continuous decline in the delinquency and the collection efficiency on the improving trend. That is also giving a confidence. So if you talk about Capri, which we have grown our MSME book on an AUM basis, 9 months, we have grown about 30%. Our affordable housing have grown 50%. So these are the segments which are in tier 2, tier 3 town. And we are glad that that the demand is back. Disbursements are all-time high. And we see a scenario that next year will also be equally good. So past 2 years, we have seen a lot of appeals. I think that is behind us, and we see a full-blown disbursement during the next year. And growth should be back for everyone, I would say.
But Mr. Sharma, as growth does come back, what it's looking like is that the cost of funds is going to go up. Cost of funds for you, cost of funds for consumers as well. How is that going to impact demand?
So if we talk specifically segment of a MSME space and affordable housing space, I think cost of fund may go up by 25 basis or so. And these are the segment where this kind of a cost can easily be passed on to the consumers, where their businesses runs on return on efforts and not return on equity. So this marginal increase will not going to impact. I think these are the segments which more depend on the timely availability of the money rather than the 50 basis plus or minus. So in this segment, I think all the NBFC lenders should be able to pass on this cost easily. So I don't see much challenge there.
Mr. Sharma, good morning. Now, housing finance constitutes about 26% of the total AUM. How are you looking at demand, and how are you seeing, are you seeing now increased inquiries for loans for houses? Is the growth largely coming in from tier 1 and 2 cities, or is it across the board?
So if we talk about overall housing finance segment, I think it is growing at the steady pace of about 14%. And it has taken some dip during the COVID time, but it has come back. And if we talk within the housing segment, I think affordable housing segment is growing faster. So it is expected to grow almost about 15% year on year for next 5 years, as per one of the leading rating agency. And if you see data as far as our company is concerned, for 9-month basis, our AUM have grown faster than the MSME. MSME have grown 30%, but our housing finance portfolio has grown by 50%. So we see a clear-cut demand. Even the real estate, we have seen that real estate company itself, their inventory have been picked up, inventory sales have been picked up. There is a huge demand. And while this interest rate increase will increase some of the EMI, but I think the consumer level and the rural economy is going to pick up, their income level are going to go up. I am very, very excited about the growth in housing finance, affordable housing segment in particular, during next 5 years' time.
What about the pickup in disbursals after the tie-up that you had with SBI? Any specific geographical areas that are witnessing strong momentum when it comes to collection efficiency, when it comes to disbursement trends on a month-on-month basis?
Tied up with the largest lender of the country, State Bank of India, and also Union Bank of India, in to disburse the loan in MSME segment and also in housing segment. So both the segment we are tied up with these banks, where bank will pick up between 70 to 80% of the loan amount, and balance will be financed by us. The entire origination and collection will be done by us, whereas the only money will be provided, funding will be provided by these partner banks. And this is a very win-win situation where, as I said earlier, also low cost fund of the bank and collection efficiency of NBFC, low cost operation of the NBFC collaboration will yield a better win-win situation for customer, for both the partners, bank as well as the NBFC. Besides this, I clearly see this segment which banks were not able to cater for various regions where last mile connectivity were by the NBFC. I think those segments will get at the lower cost of financing. So this is a very big change. I think it has already started taking up. We have disbursed close to 100 crore rupees with one of the bank. And we see next year in our entire disbursal pace, at least 25% of disbursement will come through the co-lending partnership. And if we go in more detail, I would say this is going to be ROE accretive because we need not to provide more capital, but we give the entire spread on that 80% or 70% portion which banks partner will be financing us. So we'll be requiring the lesser amount of capital. And as against the normal case, we can go up to leverage up to 5 times. With a co-lending partnership, we can go as high as 25 times. So this can be a huge ROE accretive. And we hope that sooner or later, the technology platform will be so smooth that the serious volume can be done on this co-lending partnership. So we are quite happy that this year, at least 25% of disbursement should happen in the co-lending. That is what we are aiming for. And this is very, very big positive development.
It sure is. Rajesh, also wanted to understand, the MSME sector has gone through very many challenges, from liquidity to the COVID impact on income levels, and it was clearly the worst hit and then emerged, stronger of the lot. Looking at the data points that are impacting the sector right now, just wanted to understand how confident are you about recoveries shaping up going forward?
So if we look at the MSME, what is going to benefit the MSME? That their order position, their business should pick up. If MSME business should pick up, then their profitability, their liquidity position will improve. And with the increased impetus on the infrastructure spending and rural economy bouncing back, and all the segments are opening up completely, we clearly see there's an uptrend in the MSME segment. The demand of the loan is coming back. Collection efficiency is the biggest proof that yes, their situation is improving. Whatever some of the MSME sector, specifically travel, tourism, hotel, and all that, we have taken the aid. By RBI schemes, those specific entities have been provided with the restructuring. So they have been given their breather time. Some amount of NPA will rise because some of them will not be able to come back to the normalcy. So that provisioning, I think all the companies would have done. And at the Capri, if we talk about, we are having a 84% about provision coverage ratio. So we already done all those provisioning. We don't see any future such problems which have happened in the past, COVID related. I believe that was unprecedented time and will not recur again in the near future. So MSME segment have already bounced back, and their business, if coming back to more orders, more business, more volumes, I don't see that pain will be repeated. And whatever pain was there, that has already been taken care of.
Okay, Rajesh, great to have you on the show. Glad that you could take time out as always and discuss the outlook of the company as well as the sector with us.
Thank you.